are, why they happen, how they happen, and then we'll understand how we can avoid them. So that's kind of the agenda for the next hour. And is in your heart?
Yes, I have one too.
And your name?
Vera.
Vera. David. And then I went from room to room to room with my stethoscope, and I didn't clean it. And then finally, my hospital gown, which fabric can harbor, sitting at the table, in the cafeteria eating, and now you've got bacteria on the table. They get up and leave, and you go with your sandwich, and you're sitting down because you're visiting a loved one.
Free sample method.
Yes, this is not medication, this is red hot. Prevention of hospital-acquired infections. From an article titled, "Hospital Infection is the Next Asbestos." A third of blood pressure cuffs that are used from room to room to room are infected with a bacteria called... Now, another fact about C. diff is that it's well. And so it leaves you with no good bacteria to fight the bad, and guess who wins? The bad guys. So probiotics, typically in your refrigerated section, because they're all live bacteria that's good for you. So if you're taking a course of antibiotics, take a course of probiotics, and it wasn't cleaned properly, it lives for a long time. Into your room, make sure that they wash their hands, and the proper way to wash hands, whether it's a caregiver or whether it's new, because you want to avoid this type of thing from happening, is to, what can you do about this then? We talked about hand washing. It's probably the single most important thing that you can see to that happens when you're in the hospital. Make sure that that person washes their hands. Secondly, ask for a dedicated piece of equipment. So if you're going to be in the hospital for a period of time, you need discharge, they throw that out. So ask for that. So these are things that are real, and most people don't know that they exist for many reasons, but ask it. But I wanted to share with you what she shared with me, some of the funnier, not so funny, bizarre billing codes. Okay, we have the cost, and then there was the $1,000 and $4 toothbrush. So if you think these things don't happen, if you're not checking your bill on medication errors, okay, and I put that at the top of the list because you're at the top of the list. If you don't say something and if you don't speak up, description so that you can keep track of what it is that you're taking. And also to know the trade name. There's trade names and generic names of drugs, so it's important to know both of those names so if you're in the hospital. So if a doctor changes a medication, that's reflected in the next day's MARS, and you have every right to ask for that sheet every morning, and your advocate has that wrong, I'm sorry. Now, if I wasn't there, was it? And then there's monitoring and reporting. Get out of here. They're going to transfer all of this important information to the incoming nurse who's thinking, oh man, I'm tired, I want to, and so you've got this miscommunication. In July, your senior residents graduate, and your incoming freshmen in the spring, now they're brand new coming into the hospital. So you come to a peak and you know, like some movie stars have reached their tipping point. They've worked for 30 years, now all of a sudden they seem like an overnight success. That's to us as patients and as advocates to get them. The tide is going out. If I don't throw them in, they'll die. Upon hearing this, the wise man commented, but young man, do you not realize that there are miles and miles? I would be more than happy to come and speak and help